So officially welcome, John,
Yeah, I do that.
to this evening session. Hopefully Iona will join us. She said she would, but otherwise we'll just crack on. So let's dive in to the text, shall we?
Yeah.
Share my screen. Okay. So this one is called The Undivided Will of the Sonship.
Yes,
Chapter 8.
the undivided will of the sonship, the undivided will awareness of the extension of pure formless awareness.
Yeah. The undivided awareness of the extension of pure. It's true, that's right. Which does make sense. It's quite a long-winded way of saying it, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Can you be separated from your identification and be at peace? Dissociation is not a solution. It is a delusion. The delusional believe that truth will assail them, and they do not recognize it because they prefer the delusion. Judging truth as something they do not want, they perceive their illusions which block knowledge. Help them by offering them your unified mind on their behalf, as I am offering you mine on behalf of yours. Alone we can do nothing, but together our minds fuse into something whose power is far beyond the power of its separate parts. By not being separate, the mind of God, of pure formless awareness, the awareness of pure formless awareness, the extent is established in ours and as ours. This mind, this awareness is invincible because it is undivided. So it's very much emphasizing the fortification of unification, and 1 and 1 equals 3. And you can't be, and separation is dissociation and weakness. Yeah, the delusional believe that truth will assail them. So the delusional, the separated ones believe that truth will attack them, and they do not recognize it because they prefer the delusion. The separated ones believe that truth will assail them, attack them, and they do not recognize it because they prefer the delusion. Why on earth would they prefer the delusion? Because they fear the truth.
Yeah. Well, it's because we're identified with a false self.
Yeah.
Problem. So we've so identified ourselves with this, and it's our own creation. We go, oh, I like this false self. This offers me an identity. It offers me specialness, and we prefer that to the truth that we've had to dissociate in order to miscreate this false identity.
Yeah.
Saying this dissociation is a delusion. How can you dissociate from what you really are? Can't really. Your true awareness remains your awareness. The dissociation then must be a delusion. But we choose to continue it because we identified with this, with our separate self and everything it entails, instead of with the truth of what we really are. So they perceive their illusions which block knowledge. Okay, knowledge being the knowledge of oneness alone, who they really are. And Jesus is saying you can help them by offering them your unified mind.
Yes, which is a reflection of what we had last night, actually. That what was it? That I remember you, my remembrance of you. That was it. Yeah. I will always remember you, and in my remembrance of you lies your remembrance of yourself. In our remembrance of each other lies our remembrance of God.
Yeah. Same message.
Which is a very beautiful.
Hmm.
I sent that on a little card to my friend in Devon, who's my severe depressive one.
Okay. Just sharing a bit of light. So then that's exactly what you did, by offering them your unified mind on their behalf. So your unified mind you offer to your brothers and say, well, I get this. Even if you don't get it, I understand it. And then, on the level of form that might play out like, you send them a card with a little note.
Yeah.
Remind them, look, this is the truth, although you may not accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then alone, he says, alone we can do nothing. Together our minds fuse into something whose power is far beyond the power of its separate parts. So he's trying to teach us that this mind is invincible. This mind is all powerful, and it's far beyond its seemingly separate parts. So as individuals, we seem to be quite fragmented and weak, but we fuse our minds into this one awareness and claim our true power. And then the last couple, any thoughts on that? The mind of God is established in ours and as ours. I noticed you tried to translate mind as awareness.
Which, yes, I did, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's not incorrect.
No.
What is mind but awareness? Mind isn't something tangible. You can go, okay, there's the mind.
No, it isn't.
So another word for it could be awareness. The awareness of pure formless awareness, or the awareness of love, instead of the mind of God. So that works.
Mind, the interpreter of the formless spirit in the world to create energy and movement.
Yeah, that's the small m.
Yes.
Which
It's okay.
This is the capitalized M, which is really just the awareness. It's the pure formless awareness we're referring to.
Yes, God or Christ.
Is that awareness?
Yeah.
Oh, so translating mind as awareness is fine. If you want to do that, just read the last couple of sentences with awareness instead of mind.
By not being separate, the awareness of love, the awareness of love is established in ours and as ours. This awareness is invincible because it is undivided.
So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like maybe even more sense. The challenge with saying things like mind, it's quite abstract. People like to say, what is this mind?
Yeah, I know.
Capitalized mind. It's a bit like God, well, what is this actually referring to? The mind of God. So now you've got two abstract terms.
Yeah.
Awareness, I think, makes it a bit more tangible. Okay, it's awareness. That's all it is. Okay. So my awareness, if I'm in this pure formless awareness, then my awareness is the same as that awareness. Yeah. Just makes it very achievable. It's very doable. It's not some. The danger with a lot of this stuff is it's always out of reach, isn't it? People just go,
and if it's out of reach,
it's a nice concept, it's a nice theory, but it's always going to be out of reach for me. I'm never going to attain God, and so it becomes this kind of distant goal. It's almost like the church dangles a carrot and says, here it is, but you're never going to get there. So you'll just be eternally seeking, and you need to come back and back to church and listen to us and pay your donations and whatever. But you'll never actually get there. You'll never actually unite with God, because that's impossible.
Yeah.
Even though Jesus did it, but he was one in a billion. He was one in forever. He was the only guy who can do it. He was the Son of God.
Yeah, he's the exception to keep you going.
Yeah. So it gives you some hope, but you're not on that level, and you'll never get there. So he was the only. So we kind of pedestalize it all, and it becomes like out of reach ideal that's actually never going to be attainable. And that's not what this course is about. He's saying, look, this is very attainable. It's going to take some mind training for sure. It's going to take work on your part, but I did it, and so can you. Yeah. This is very doable, and I'll show you how. And there's Iona. And just systematically train your mind, correct your perception with my guidance. And you can attain exactly the same awareness as I attained, which is not out of reach, because it's your true awareness. It's actually what you are. It's your foundational awareness. You never really lost it. So it's actually really simple and reachable and attainable, not some otherworldly, abstract, out of reach concept that you're never going to attain.
Yeah.
I think this translation that's what we're trying to do with it, is just to make it more practical and attainable.
Yeah. Well, there's a good example.
Yeah. Okay. So hello to Iona. Hi, Iona.
Hi.
Hi, Iona.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome again.
Thank you.
How was your afternoon? Did you hit your flow? Were you in flow? Did it all just unfold?
It all worked out as it was meant to work out. Thank you. I had I think projected what I would like to happen, and then Kenneth had other ideas, and that cleared a whole gap of time. Which was just perfect. Yeah, thank you.
So it all worked.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
As these things always do.
Yeah, they always do, don't they? So I was moving around thinking, wow, no, this is where I need to remember that I'm always accompanied. I'm never alone. And this is the time right now to remember this. So
God goes with me wherever I go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we've just started. So we've done paragraph 1. John, you want to give a little summary for Iona?
Yes, I think what we're talking about here is the unified mind will overcome all doubt and suspicion. If one chooses not to believe, not to follow the way, then one enters the separated mind, which does not want to see truth because it fears truth. And by not being separate, by joining, the awareness of love is established as ours. And the mind, our true resonance with pure formless awareness, is invincible because it's undivided.
Yeah. Nice summary. And I just add there that dissociation is not a solution, it's a delusion. Saying your delusions will not help you, and you prefer the delusion to the truth. So because that's all we've done to create the ego, we've had to dissociate the truth.
Yes.
It is the denial, as we said, it's only has seeming existence because it negates or denies the truth. That's the only thing that gives it a reality. It has no existence in and of itself, which means it's a very it's illusory, and it's very fragile. It always feels it's always going to feel unstable and threatened, isn't it? Because anything that's purely negative, based on negating what is true, is clearly not going to be something that's a stable thought system. And then you use mind awareness instead of mind. So that's interesting. Well, remember that. So that's a translation maybe that's worth making. What do you think?
Yeah.
So look how we translated it here. Mind is awareness.
We translated it as a catalyst.
Thank you.
So
term is capitalized. Yeah, we're talking about
oh yeah, activating agent. Yeah.
That's the small m. The big M refers to God or Christ, transcendent level of pure formless awareness. Yeah. So we have actually defined it as
yeah.
Pure awareness.
The transcendent level of pure formless awareness.
Yeah. So John translated mind with a capital as awareness, without me even prompting him. So it was a good translation, John.
Good. Okay.
Saying that, yeah, because actually I think awareness works better there. The awareness of love, or the awareness of pure formless awareness, is established in ours and as ours. This awareness is invincible because it is undivided. Whereas mind, it's like one of those tricky abstract things, isn't it? Mind is like, well, what is mind?
Yeah.
You can't really. It's not tangible. The mind is that some kind of entity? Is it an aware? What is it?
Yeah.
So and then God is another abstract. And our mind of God. I think that's why a lot of people the course goes over their head because they just don't understand these terms.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's the awareness of love or the awareness of pure formless awareness, then it kind of becomes quite practical and doable. Okay, well, there's just this awareness. And if I'm in that awareness, when I'm in that base state of pure formless awareness and I'm not really thinking and I'm just aware, then I'm there. That's it. It's not unattainable. I just have to drop into that and go beyond thought. If I do that for a few moments, then I'm in that awareness. Okay, happy with number one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to hear the discussion about it, and I'll read it more myself. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read number 2 for us?
Crack on. The undivided will of the extension, the undivided awareness of the sonship of the extension is the perfect creator.
Yeah, perfect extender, I suppose you could say. But you can stick with creator, being holy in the likeness of God. See, the problem I find with creator is it implies something wasn't and then it's been created.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean? Because the ego's the traditional interpretation of create is, okay, well, there wasn't something and then you created it.
Okay.
You brought it into being. Whereas this is more like extending. Says no, it's already there. Your being's already there, but you're extending it out. So if you said the undivided awareness of the extension is the perfect extender, it kind of makes sense. Because you extend as you were extended, being wholly in the likeness of pure formless awareness, or source, in this case, the source that extended you.
Whose awareness it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So read it again as I translate it and see how that makes sense.
The undivided awareness of the extension is the perfect extender, being wholly in the likeness of pure formless awareness, whose awareness it is.
Makes sense.
You cannot be exempt from it if you're to understand what it is and what you are. By the belief that your awareness is separate from mine, you are exempting yourself from the awareness of pure formless awareness, which is yourself. Yet to heal is still to make whole. That's good. Therefore, to heal is to unite with those who are like you, because perceiving this likeness is to recognize the source. If your perfection is in it and only in it, how can you know it without recognizing pure formless awareness? The recognition of pure formless awareness is the recognition of yourself. There is no separation of love and its creation and its awareness.
Extension.
Creation. Thank you.
Extension, yeah.
You will realize this when you understand that there is no separation between your awareness and mine. Let the love of pure formless awareness shine upon you by your acceptance of me. My reality is yours and its. By joining your mind with mine, you are signifying your awareness that the awareness of pure formless awareness is one.
Makes sense. Does make sense when you translate it. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Lots of awareness.
Yeah.
What stood out for me was sentence 5, therefore to heal is to unite. No, yet to heal is still to make whole. It's like we're needing to err in order to understand. Is that correct?
To heal is still to make whole.
To heal is still to make whole. Therefore, to heal is to unite with those who are like you.
Mm-hmm.
To heal.
Your question is?
I had translated it that I still have to heal in order to be whole, because as you've said many times, if I knew it, I wouldn't need to practice it.
This is the paradox, isn't it?
If I wasn't a divine
you're already there in truth, but you're not aware of it.
Right.
So then you need to become aware of it. In the becoming aware of it is the healing. As you become aware that there's only one awareness, and you are united in that awareness with all of your brothers. And that process we call healing.
Okay.
But if you feel like you're still separated from that oneness, then healing is necessary. So it's necessary until you realize it's not necessary.
Got it.
So it's this weird paradox we live in. It's like forgiveness is necessary until you realize it's unnecessary. Suffering is necessary until you realize it's unnecessary. It's all about realization. But in the realization is the healing. As you realize this, then there's a healing in your mind. There's a movement of your mind towards wholeness. That's what healing is. It's the same root word. Healing and holen comes from the same root. Of a whole mind, a mind that's undivided, that's not split.
Yeah.
What healing implies. Okay, does that clarify that?
Yeah. If your perfection is in him and only in him, how can you know it without recognizing? Yes, it's like recognizing it in yourself. And then you recognize the whole perfection.
Recognition of God. And recognize means to rethink.
Yes, of course.
So I recognize it. I didn't know it. I'd excluded it from my awareness. I denied it or dissociated it. Now I must recognize it or remember.
And I remember myself.
The
cognizance of who I am.
Know thyself. That's the whole goal of the curriculum.
Yeah.
So as I recognize pure formless awareness, I must recognize it in myself because I'm becoming aware of that awareness. To recognize it, I must become aware of it.
Right.
So he's just saying, that awareness is your awareness. And this is what you are. It's so simple. Recognition of God is a recognition of yourself. This is your true awareness.
Mm.
There is no separation of this awareness and its extension. You are the extension of pure formless awareness. So how can you be separate from that?
Yep.
It must be your awareness too.
So then he's exhorting me to let the love of pure formless awareness shine upon me by my acceptance.
By your acceptance of me. So you accept him. He's using himself, Jesus, or the Christ mind, if you prefer, as some kind of placeholder, just to like, if you accept this, you accept that there's no separation between your will and mine, then you must also accept this one awareness. You must accept God back into your mind. By joining your mind with mine in the same awareness, you're signifying your awareness that the awareness of pure formless awareness is one.
Yeah.
Because we can't be one in something other than God. There's only one source. Very simple.
Yes.
But,
Simple.
but very profound. What can you say? It's profound. I love the sighs you say. Ah. Is that a sigh of relief? Is it a sigh of like, oh, I'm getting this? Or is it a sigh of like, actually, I've still got a long way to go?
It's slightly in between it all. It's just like, yeah, okay. Wow. It felt a bit like that this time. My stomach has actually become quite sore. I don't know why.
What, right now?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason.
Oh.
Maybe the ego is getting shaken up a little bit. But it's good because it's an experience. You know, if you can really experience what these words are saying, you experience that mentally and emotionally on quite a deep level, then they're doing their work.
Yeah.
This is not a course that you're meant to just like, oh yes, you know, some nice intellectual ideas, cool, yeah, I kind of get that. And then, you know, you carry on unmoved. It's supposed to move you deeply.
I do get moved deeply by this work. I do, and sometimes I can have the feeling going through my body rather than thinking, oh gosh, is it extend or awareness? I think that's actually, it's gone now. As soon as I said that, you know, I was feeling it in my body, but I wasn't catching up with the translation as sharply in my head. Yeah.
So just moving through. So, you know, if you do this correctly, you're reading the text like this, it becomes a little transformational process, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Each session you do is transformative, and this is why, you know, you put in the time, because if you don't do the time, then you don't get the experience.
That's right.
That's how it works. So.
That's how it works. Oops.
And doing it on this level, I mean, if you just read this quickly, you could read this section in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But you're probably not going to have the same depth of by discussing it and really dwelling on it and feeling it and translating it. It kind of really gives it some kind of a greater impact, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, the number of times when I've just dipped in and out and I thought, oh, that's great, that's profound, right, I'll go to sleep now.
Yeah. And that doesn't happen really. Well, I suppose it can happen here. It has happened. People go to sleep, but it's yeah, we just carry on until we finish the section. Yeah, that's how it works. So just stay with it. If you're in the session, stay with it until we finish, and then yeah, you just program something into your subconscious, and you're going to go to sleep on it, and this just starts becoming it. You notice, just starts becoming how you think more and more.
Yes, I'm beginning to.
Okay, this is my default. It's not an anomaly. It's not something I'm trying anymore. It's just starting to become the way that I think and the way I perceive everything, and that's what he's trying to do.
Shall I have a go at just summarizing this paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's saying I cannot be exempt from the awareness of pure formless awareness if I'm to understand what it is and what I am. Basically. Yes.
Yeah.
To heal is to still to make whole, and I unite with those who are like me, because in this perception is my recognition of source.
Yeah.
And in that I recognize myself. There is no separation in my awareness and the awareness of oneness. And then the extortion to let the love of pure formless awareness shine upon me by my acceptance of awareness of oneness and the joining of my mind with the will of pure formless awareness.
So you see what Jesus is doing? He's giving us an easy way here. He's saying, okay, if you can't quite accept that this abstract pure formless awareness is yours, then join your mind with mine.
Yes.
Because I'm maybe a bit more tangible. I'm speaking to you in these words.
But it's strange.
For a lot of people, that's quite helpful.
That's where I got a little confused, because I was firmly of the idea that I am pure formless awareness, that the kind of offering of a halfway station is just like, oh, I could do that too. All right.
If you truly join your mind with Jesus's, you must be joining in the same awareness, which is the awareness of God, or pure formless awareness. So it's another way of doing it. In fact, a lot of the course is saying, well, yes, this is quite abstract to unite your mind with pure formless awareness and go there. So start with your brothers and your sisters. Start uniting your mind with them, these holy relationships, and experiencing the love that you feel when you do that. And then that teaches you that there's really just this one awareness. There's a unified awareness. So he's quite practical in his approach, because just uniting with pure formless awareness itself is a revelation, and that's quite different for a lot of people. They find it very difficult to just go into that awareness. You have only that awareness, and you remain there.
Yeah.
This is the kind of ultimate state of enlightenment that some of the great masters and mystics have attained, but usually through many, many hours, years of meditation. They just sat, and eventually they just drop into that awareness, and they can stay in this blissful awareness for long periods of time, undisturbed. But this isn't the way he's teaching us. He's saying, well, look, I understand that's probably not going to be that practical for you as Westerners with this heavily developed intellectual mind. So let's give you some tools. Let's help you merge your awareness with mine. That might help you merge your awareness with your brothers in holy relationships. That's going to help you. And these are all ways that you can start to experience the pure formless awareness that you are, without necessarily directly doing it going into meditation, because you can experience it directly in meditation, but it's a very deep, profound state of meditation, which is beyond a lot of people to get there on their own. So he's kind of giving us some baby steps, saying, here's what you can do, and this is going to take you in the right direction. Okay, happy with paragraph 2?
Happy.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. John?
God's oneness and ours are not separate, because his oneness encompasses ours. To join with me is to restore his...
Forgot to translate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, pure formless awareness, oneness.
Or love's oneness, you might say.
Or love's oneness. And ours are not separate, because it's love encompasses ours.
No, it's oneness is okay. You can translate oneness. It's oneness.
Oneness encompasses ours. To join with me is to restore his power to you because we are sharing it. I offer you only the recognition of his power in you. But in that is all
power.
its power in you. But in that lies all truth. As we unite with him, with it. Glory be to the union of love and its extensions. All glory lies in them because they are united. The miracles we do bear witness to the will the will of pure formless awareness and its extension.
For its extension, yeah.
For its extension. For its extension. And to our joy in uniting with its will for us.
Okay.
So is emphasizing.
Will is awareness. Translate that last sentence as awareness for will and see how that goes.
Okay. The miracles we do bear witness to the awareness of source for its extension and to our joy in uniting with its awareness for us.
Makes sense?
It's a call here it's a reminder of unification, uniting with him. That's it. That's the main theme, really.
Mm-hmm.
To do so is to bear witness to the awareness of source.
So he's asking us to unite with him as a way of merging your mind with the glory of God, with pure formless awareness. So he's an example, because if we can do it with Jesus, then we can do it with others.
Yeah.
So like practice, training rules. Okay, we'll do it with me. Maybe you find that easier than with your brother who's still seemingly in a body, who does various things that you don't like doing. You might find it easier to do it with me because I've transcended the body, and you go, yeah, okay, well, I can merge my awareness with Jesus's. I can accept that I'm one with him, and then I start accepting that I'm one with everyone in that process. Glory be to the union of pure formless awareness and its perfectly aware extensions. That's how I translate that. Glory be to the union of pure formless awareness and its perfectly aware extensions. So we are aware of that awareness, then we become the perfect extensions of that awareness, don't we? That awareness becomes ours, and then we recognize, well, we share the same awareness. It's really just one mind that shares the same awareness.
Yes.
So we're not really separate. The bodies and the personalities and personal selves, they don't really separate us. It's just one awareness that we all share. So he's just reminding us of that. So do you want to summarize that paragraph, John? Any more? Any other things?
Yeah, well, I think what it's saying is our oneness, our connectedness is one with love's connectedness, and the two are inseparable, and when united are all powerful.
Yeah, he's actually talking about unifying with him and with the sons or the extensions of that awareness. So when we unite our minds with other minds, seemingly other minds, and we realize that we're not separate, we're one, then this will of the Father, the awareness of the source, must become ours. And the unification, we truly unify with our brothers, then God is there. That awareness becomes our awareness. Pure formless awareness becomes our awareness. So this is a major way, a major path that the Course is giving us to attain this oneness is through our brothers, through our attitude towards, our perception of, and our relationship with our brothers.
Mm-hmm.
We can make great strides towards uniting with God or love or pure formless awareness.
It's that invitation to receive sort of difficult, so-called difficult experiences as another reason to let go of the idea or belief.
That sponsors them, because if you're honest, what's behind every challenging experience? It's separation.
True.
So this is what he's asking us to see. Okay, so it's my belief. I still believe in separation. I'm experiencing the effects of it. Seems to be real. But oneness, the awareness of oneness, the Holy Spirit, reminds me that it's not true and not real. This principle of oneness is true, and separation is not true in any way, shape, or form that it happens to show up. And therein lies the lesson. We can really accept that. And if we can accept our brothers, because the challenge our brothers present us with is that they don't seem to be very holy, do they? A lot of the time. It doesn't seem to be
Exactly.
Jesus is telling us that they're very holy, and then they don't behave in very holy ways, and you kind of go, well, they're not doing what I think they should do. And so again, it becomes very theoretical and abstract unless you're willing to forgive. Say, okay, but what Jesus is asking me to do is to see them as holy, see them as this awareness, pure formless awareness, irrespective of their behavior. It doesn't matter what they do, because they are still that awareness. That's their fundamental awareness, and it's my fundamental awareness. So they may be completely in an illusion. They have no idea what they're doing. Forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they do. But that doesn't mean that you can't see them as they really are.
Mm-hmm.
You can still see that they are that awareness. And as you see that, then you restore that awareness to your awareness. Makes complete sense. Well, how else are you going to find that awareness if you're feeling separated from it? Then but by recognizing it in your brothers, saying, well, you're still that awareness. Even though you've seemingly forgotten it. I'm not going to be taken in by your forgetting. I'm not going to allow your forgetting to make me forget. So forgiveness is the decision to remember the truth and forget the ego. Forget that whole interpretation that makes it real. Okay, makes sense. Any question number 3?
No, that's good.
Okay, moving swiftly on to number 4 then.
When you unite with me, you are uniting without the ego, because I have renounced the ego in myself and therefore cannot unite with yours. Our union is therefore the way to renounce the ego in you. The truth in both of us is beyond the ego. Our success in transcending the ego is guaranteed by pure formless awareness, and I share this confidence for both of us and all of us. I bring pure formless awareness peace back to all its extensions, because I received it of loves for us all. Nothing can prevail against our united wills, because nothing can prevail against loves. So it's in the first 3 sentences is very clear. I renounce the ego. I can't unite with yours. Therefore, you and me together, it's the only way to renounce the ego in me. because together we're much greater than ego. That's good, isn't it?
No, it's a logical consequence. You know, if he's renounced the ego in himself, so there's no ego in his mind. You want to unite with his mind, then you have to renounce the ego in yours.
Or if I renounce the ego in my awareness, I can join in his awareness.
Yeah, but no other way, because you can't go into his awareness with the ego.
No.
The ego blocks that awareness. So our union is therefore the way to renounce the ego in you. So unite with Jesus. Really what he's asking us to do is say, well, look, just think like me. You know, I'm the way shower. I did this. The beauty of a figure like Jesus is he becomes a good example. So it's how this awareness, pure formless awareness, which can be a very abstract idea, how it actually translates into form. How do we actually live our lives from this awareness? And the examples like Jesus are very helpful. So, okay, well, he did it. This is how he behaved. So I can too. You know, this isn't some far out, mystical, unattainable state, which is unfortunately what lots of people think. You know, Jesus is the Son of God. No one can ever do that. He was the only one. And that just makes it unattainable, and it puts it out of reach for you, which is not what he was trying to teach. Rather, he was saying, look, you know, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Only way to the Father or the source is through me. In other words, follow my way. Follow the same way that I followed.
Yes.
And you'll get there. You will find the same awareness as I did. Okay. Any other thoughts on number 4?
Well, just the solidity of that last sentence, nothing can prevail against our united wills. Nothing prevails against love's awareness.
Well, if you translate wills as awareness, nothing can prevail against our united awareness.
Yes, because nothing can prevail against God's awareness, love's awareness.
Yeah, makes complete sense.
Yeah, it is rock solid.
It's one awareness. There aren't really wills against our united wills. There aren't really two wills. It just seems to be. From our separated state of mind, we still think of our will and Jesus's will and God's will and, you know, various wills. But there's actually only one will or one awareness. That's why I quite like the awareness substitution for will, because it's really only one awareness.
Yeah.
And the will is that awareness. When you root it in that awareness, then that becomes your entire will. There's no other will. There's no other awareness going on.
So he's saying, think like me, Jesus, follow me, unite with me, and unite with others. It's a real kind of clarion call, this, isn't it? What's this chapter? The undivided will of the sonship, the undivided awareness of the extension. The undivided awareness. Yes, okay. So this is really about oneness, one mind.
Now what he's saying is you're not going to recognize, you're not going to get to pure formless awareness without recognizing that the will of its extension, the sonship, is also undivided. So you see that unity in all your brothers, and he becomes, do you see why he's using himself? Because he becomes the first one. Okay, well, if you can talk with me, and you can unite your will with my mind, then you've already, that's quite a major step forward out of separation. Then why can't you do it with all your brothers? Just extrapolate and say, well, all my brothers are really the same, even if they, seem to have bodies and personalities and seem to be difficult. Actually, in truth, they have the same mind as Jesus does. So I've united with his mind, so why can't I unite with their minds? And just accept this. In the end, it's an acceptance. Can I just accept it and surrender into it rather than deny it and dissociate it? So he becomes the example. If we can do it with him, then why can't we do it with all our brothers? And as we do it, we come to know more and more that there's just this one awareness that we all share. And that awareness is pure formless awareness. That's God. And then we root it in that awareness. If we keep doing this, then we must eventually stay in that awareness. And we don't want to leave that awareness. There's nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. You simply stay rooted in that awareness, and then you're one with the awareness of God or love. It's inevitable if you unite with your brothers. So yeah, it's giving us a way to do this, something to focus on a practical level, unite our minds with His, unite our minds with our brothers, and then that's going to extend this awareness everywhere. Okay, happy with your summary, Anna? Number 4?
Did I summarize already? No.
Kind of, yeah, but
Kind of.
you can do it again if you feel like we missed anything.
Well, Jesus is saying to me, when you unite with me, you have to unite without the ego. I renounced it in me, and I cannot unite with you if yours is still intact or there. The truth of both of us is way beyond the ego, and this is where our success lies. And he's totally confident of this for both of us, and brings peace of love's peace to all extensions, as I see in all others myself. That's a bit scrambled, sorry. But
yeah, you got the gist of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this world is nothing can prevail against it.
No.
Because you're rooted in pure formless awareness, which is eternal and unshakable. And it's got an interesting definition of success. You know, we talk about success in the world, and obviously to the ego that means various things.
Yeah.
But really, your true success in life lies in transcending the ego.
That's
true success.
And guaranteed by pure formless awareness.
So it's a done deal. It's guaranteed, because in pure formless awareness, the ego doesn't exist. So that state is absolutely guaranteed. At some point, you know, yes, there's a process to it to unwind your mind from the belief in the ego, but it is a guarantee. It's a done deal. You can't fail, because it's already the case. It's already true. You're just returning your mind to what's already true.
That's brilliant.
Which, you know, it's a lot of comfort. Like, okay, well, so it's happening. The script is written. You know, he says at some point in the text, script is written. So for all of us, you know, there's the script of the at-one-ment. And when you choose to show up and do it, you know, that seems to be a choice. But is it really a choice if at-one-ment is a done deal, if it's going to happen? So there, poof pop, goes the illusion of free will, doesn't it? You really have a choice. You think you do. You think you can deny oneness. You can procrastinate. You can do all kinds of things. But in fact, the script is written. Oneness is already true. So it's a done deal in time.
But in time. But I could entirely ignore it for the whole of this lifetime.
You could, yeah. Well, even if you tried to, no one can completely deny it, he says. So it's impossible to deny spirit entirely. But you know, there's many people, minds that have engaged in this kind of thing their whole life, and thought they've pulled it off. So you can do that if you want to, but He's just training our minds to see just the nonsensical nature of it. Why would you do that when this is actually everything you want? You don't want anything else. You want this mind. You want this one mind, and it's awareness in your awareness and nothing else.
I do.
You realize nothing else is really going to work. In your experience, does anything else work?
For a little while, apparently, at one level.
You know, that's kind of a sort of. The ego's like, oh, well, that worked. Well, did it really? Did it bring you eternal happiness?
No, that's what I mean. It didn't work on the eternal happiness level.
So it's very temporary, and then it's gone. It fades away, and then you're left with a kind of an emptiness, and then you try and fill the emptiness with more of the same. Oh, well, that worked. I got a little hit of whatever it is that the ego gave me.
Yeah.
So I'll try it again, and I'll try and do the same thing again. And you know, this is how we get addicted to patterns in this life, and to seeking and never finding, always seeking for the scraps, rather than surrendering in to the feast. Really, it's an abundant feast that's just waiting for us. It's always been there. Imagine the table's always been laid out. So here's a nice analogy to think about. Next time you're feeling alone and you're feeling separated, imagine you're sitting in a dark room, and it seems like it's all very dark. There's no one around. You're all alone, quite kind of quiet and scary. But the truth of the matter is, you're sitting in a soundproof room, and immediately next door, all you have to do is open the door, and there's a feast going on. There's laughter, and there's people chatting, all of your brothers. There's abundance. There's lots of food and drink, and there's a party going on. There's food. And you're just in the next room, and you've just put yourself in this darkened state, and convinced yourself, because you've denied the noise, you've blocked it out. So you put yourself in a soundproof room, and convince yourself that this is reality, and that there's nothing else, and that you are really alone. When actually the party is going on right next door, and all you have to do is open the door and walk out, and walk into the next room. So that's kind of what we've done to ourselves. We've put ourselves in a little prison, and we've convinced ourselves that it's real, and then we stay in the darkness. And actually, all we've got to do is walk out.
Yeah.
And next door, there's a feast. There's abundance. There's all of your brothers are there. There's no scarcity. There's no lack. Everyone's happy. There's connection. There's laughter. There's fun. There's music. And you just have to choose it by walking through the door, by walking out of the one into the other, which is what he's asking us to do here. Okay, happy with your summary?
Yeah, I preferred yours about the feast.
Well, it was already a summary. It's an analogy, but you know, it's useful to remember these things. It's just a little image of, okay, I'm sitting in my darkened little soundproof room now, thinking I'm all alone, but actually all I've got to do is get up, say, look, there's another way here, remember, and open the door, and you can walk out. As he said in a recent lesson, you can walk out just by choosing to. There's nothing that holds you here. Just choose to walk out and walk into another room, another reality in your mind. And there you'll see the happy dream. You can have quite a good time here. Although it's a delusion, it's not ultimate truth. Why can't you have a nice happy time here? There's no reason why you can't. If you're rooted in your pure formless awareness, then that's in fact all that it's directing you to do.
Sorry.
To be happy and peaceful while you're here, and ultimately to transcend entirely. Okay.
That reminds me of being in a village in North Yorkshire one New Year's Eve when there was five of us, and we were staying there for the week, and there was just absolutely nothing happening. And we all thought, and the whole place was snowed in, you couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
And then we all thought, this has got to be the worst New Year's Eve ever. And then suddenly these doors opened, and all this food and booze was available, and these people emerged, and
Oh,
like this huge party started.
really? In the middle of the
Yeah.
street?
No, in the next room in the pub, they just kind of opened the doors and
Okay.
invited us in, and
Okay.
then we were there probably for about half an hour, and then somebody said, "Well, come round to our house now," and everybody went out of the pub down to their house. There was another pile of booze and food, and then
Yeah, it all just kind of magically unfolded.
yeah, it went from house to house
Yeah.
till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Lots of booze and food. Yeah. So yeah, a good experience to reference it. And that's all available. It's there. Just we've stuck ourselves in a darkened room and said, no, this isn't available to me. It's not possible. Separate yourself from that reality, from that joining with your brothers. And you think about all of your good times in this world. I mean, when do you have really good times? You have good times mostly when you're with other people, don't you? When you're sharing an experience, you go, yeah, I remember that was good time. It was because there was a unity. What underlay the experience was unity and a sense of connection and oneness. And that's what makes the experience meaningful. Okay.
Yep.
So we move on to number 5 then.
5. Would you know the will, the awareness of God for you?
The awareness of love.
Awareness of love. Oh yeah, for you. Ask it of me who know it for you, and you will find it. I will deny you nothing as love denies me nothing. Ours is simply the journey back to love, which is our home. Whenever fear intrudes anywhere along the road to peace, it is because the ego has attempted to join the journey with us and cannot do so. Sensing defeat and angered by it, the ego regards itself as rejected and becomes retaliative. You are invulnerable to its retaliation because I am with you. On this journey, you have chosen me as your companion instead of the ego. Do not attempt to hold on to both, or you will try to go in different directions and will lose the way. So it's calling us to be very clear that he is with us. That is our road to peace. And the ego cannot squeeze in on the act unless we allow ourselves to have a split mind and start to believe in it and go in different directions.
Yeah, it's comforting. He's saying to us, look, I'm with you. I'm traveling with you on the journey. You're not alone. And the idea of Jesus as a kind of figure, sort of a man. We can still imagine him as a person because we have these images of Jesus all over the place. It's the idea is to help us. So yeah, you're not alone on your journey. Take his hand, walk with him on the journey. You're not alone, and the ego cannot go with us. You're walking away from the ego, and I will guide you. I will lead you out of your self-created prison.
Yes.
Right, just as I went. I went that way, and I'll lead you that way, and I'm with you every step of the way.
And perfectly reflects the themes for today. God goes with me for wherever I go.
Yeah.
God is my source. I cannot see apart from him.
Yeah. So the idea on the journey, But and he's using his personal, chosen me. He's referring to him as Jesus, because I think he's giving us an easy way. We start accepting this, like, okay, well, that's very comforting. Yes, there is this figure. We can even visualize him in form, and he's kind of holding my hand, and he's there with me, and he's on the journey with me. I'm not alone on this journey, and he knows the way. He's my guide. I can't really get lost because he's walked this path before, and he's now walking it with me. And so what he's trying to build here is our faith and our strength and courage to be willing to trust him and go through whatever the journey may bring us. So the hero's journey, there are trials, there are tests, there are temptations, but you've chosen Jesus as your guide to guide you through it all. Now, if you prefer, the idea of the Holy Spirit, just your own awareness, that's okay too. But the figure of Jesus can be quite helpful because we can imagine it. We can actually visualize him in form. I think he's giving us some helpful tools to do this through using him, his so-called worldly identity, form identity, which we see all over the place. So it's not that hard to visualize Jesus taking your hand and walking with you on the road. Okay. I think John's given quite a good summary. Anything else? Anything stand out for you there, John or Iona? Maybe just that number 6. Let's talk about that briefly. That's interesting. And number 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's very much emphasizing the fact that the ego will get angered because it feels rejected, but it cannot have any effect on us because we are joined with spirit, with him. Nothing
retaliative. So he's warning us, saying, look, yeah, it's going to have a go.
Yeah.
But just realize that it's not true. And you can be like, imagine, again, that to use analogies and images is quite helpful. That final scene in The Matrix, where Neo's now fighting Smith, having just resurrected, just completely awoken. And remember, Smith's like all this anger and fear, and he's trying, and Neo's just like, whatever, it's like, it's really not bothering him. The ego is retaliative, but he's just transcended it in his mind. He's really not. He's not afraid anymore, and there's no belief in attack anymore. Smith's attacking him, and he's like, well, whatever. It's like not even real. It's not really an attack. It's nothing, and I can deal with it quite easily. Just like in that awareness, just quite easily, just. So on the level of form, he's still acting, but his mind is completely untroubled by this ego's apparent retaliation. So vulnerability, I think that's what Neo in that state symbolized invulnerability. It's just like, okay, whatever, I'm invulnerable. Your bullets can't touch me, your punches can't. It's like I've just transcended it. And he's saying this is the case, because you've invited him, he's your guide. The ego's whatever it tries cannot affect you. You are invulnerable, unshakable.
He reminds us again that he has renounced the ego in himself and therefore cannot unite with mine. So together with me, when you're with me, you are invulnerable.
Because then you're in the mind of God, the mind of pure formless awareness. If you join your mind with his, then you must be there because he's joined his mind with God's.
Yes.
So he kind of becomes the bridge. It's like, okay, well, this is how you can do this. Just merge your mind with mine and accept that, and then pure formless awareness will ultimately be yours. And again, just to use another image analogy, do not attempt to hold on to both, or you'll try to go in different directions and will lose the way. So you imagine you're at a crossroads on this journey, and you get the path splits and it goes in different directions, opposite directions, and you're confused. You don't know which way to choose. One guide, there's a guide who says, no, follow me. I know the way. Come this way. It's a great city. It's like lots of party, women, food. It's going to be fantastic. Follow me. This is the ego, and it's telling you to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
You can't follow that direction and also go the other way because they're diametrically opposed. And then Jesus is on the other side saying, no, my brother, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, with these, desire for these worldly things. And I think he states in the Bible is like the path to hell is wide and many take it, because it's like this, whatever, I'll do that, and there's no discipline. Whereas the kingdom of heaven, what did he say? Only it's like going through the eye of the needle to get to the kingdom of the heaven. In the Bible. That's so what he's saying is it's a very narrow, like you need to be disciplined and focused in your mind. You can't just go, okay, whatever, all things, I accept whatever, and I just kind of go with the flow in that sense. You have to have a disciplined mind. So no, I have to reject the ego's way. I can't follow that guide and also go to heaven. They're opposite directions. So let me take Jesus as my guide, take his hand, and he will lead me on this path, step by step. He's gonna help me to navigate this path, which isn't always straightforward, back to heaven, back to the state of pure formless awareness. And he's the only guide that we should trust. And we can't do both. We can't go in different directions. That's really a key. Okay. Imagine if you're vacillating. Imagine you go, okay, no, I'll follow that guide. And the guy's like, okay, follow me. And you go a few steps down. And then Jesus calls you and says, no, my brother, you really don't want to go there. This is the where you're going to hell. Follow me. So you turn around, and then the ego is pulling you back, and you're vacillating between them. And you're actually going to go nowhere. You're just going to be stuck at this crossroads, going backwards and forwards, going nowhere in a state of indecision. And he's saying, just decide, one way or another. And if you decide with me, then I will follow you and I'll be your guide. And I'm a very good guide. I know the way. I've walked the path. He's found his way out of the matrix, so he can show you the way out of the matrix, because he's found the way himself. Now, of course, the ego's guide is clueless, doesn't know what it's doing. It's leading you nowhere. It's the road to nowhere.
It's never going to find that eye of the needle, is it?
No, because ego wants all options to be available.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want that. I want to do it my way. Okay, you want to find heaven your way. Okay, that's a contradiction in terms, isn't it? Whose way then? Your own way, except in order to find it, you have to unify your mind with others. So you can't just do it your way, because your way is part of the idea of separation. It's separating you from the way, truth and life. So, yeah, nice analogy, and the idea of the hero's journey kind of ties into this quite nicely. Saying, look, go with me on this hero's journey. Choose me as your guide, and I will guide you faithfully through the journey. And at every turn, and he's guiding us through this course. So every lesson you've got guidance. Every time you reference to the course, and you use that to make a decision in your life, then you're being guided by Jesus. He's guiding you on this journey. So it's
Yeah.
actually very practical. It's not just a kind of nice image. You go, oh, okay, well, Jesus taking my hand. I mean, that can be very comforting for people. There's nothing wrong with that. But actually, practically day by day, by doing this mind training work, using his course as the foundation, then you're accepting his guidance moment by moment in your life.
Yeah, I experienced that this afternoon. 3 people have asked me about the clearing work that I do. And I accept there's no coincidence that, the more work I do on A Course in Miracles, the more that my vibration is sent out. And so I thought I would have a go at rewriting exactly what it is I do. And I started yesterday and I carried on today and this afternoon, and I really felt helped and assisted by Holy Spirit.
In how to write it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's how it works. As you do, it's a vibrational frequency, they call it. It's your energy, it's your underlying state. And if people pick that up, then they go, you have something I want. I don't know quite, they won't necessarily be able to put their finger on it and say, yes, that's it, tangible quality, but you have a presence that they want. And then they say, okay, well, you have it, I don't, so help me. How do I get where you are?
Yeah.
And then they're asking you for help and guidance, and then you extend, as Jesus extended to you, you extend to them. That's how it works.
Yes, with that beautiful, sure companion by my side, to help.
So you lead them on the level of form, but Jesus is leading you. So he's actually leading you both.
Lovely.
All of you on. So it's a bit like the Pied Piper,
It is.
And off you go, and you're following him on this merry way, back to heaven. And the people you healing and clearing don't necessarily need to know that initially. They just a presence about you. And so they're following you, but they're actually following Jesus and the Holy Spirit in truth, because there's no difference. Your mind is one with theirs. It's one mind. You are just the instrument of that Christ presence on earth, as now able to do things in a body, because the presence is using the body of Iona to do this. And then you become the avatar. You're used. You're done through. Which is it's a really nice feeling. The egos go, oh no, I don't want to be done through. I want to be in charge. But it feels really good to be done through and just open and expansive and free and light. And it's just happening. You're not in control of it. I mean, isn't that a nice? I'm not in charge. I don't have to figure this out. I'm just following instructions. Just being guided step by step on the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy with number 5? John, happy to move on to number 6?
Yep, it's good for me.
Okay. So number 6, Iona.
The ego's way is not mine, but it is also not yours. The Holy Spirit, or awareness of oneness, has one direction for all minds, and the one it taught me is yours. Let us not lose sight of its direction through illusions, for only illusions of another direction can obscure the one which the voice of pure formless awareness speaks in all of us. Never accord the ego the power to interfere with the journey. It has none, because the journey is the way to what is true. Leave all illusions behind and reach beyond all attempts of the ego to hold you back. I go before you because I am beyond the ego. Reach, therefore, for my hand because you want to transcend the ego. My strength will never be wanting, and if you choose to share it, you will do so. I give it willingly and gladly because I need you as much as you need me. Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh. It's just
another
the
sigh.
language. It's just the language. Yeah, another sigh. It's just the language is so beautiful.
Hmm.
And I know we've discussed this a lot. That he anthropomorphizes the language. You know, even if he doesn't need me as much as I need it, really, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful image and truly helpful in my mind.
Well, Jesus is own at one. So Jesus is not perfectly at one until the entire sonship
Yeah.
is one, until the belief in separation is completely undone. And there's only the kingdom, and this entire illusion has disappeared into the nothingness it is. So this is his own at one. That's what I said. I need you as much as you need me. Without your mind joined in this oneness,
it's incomplete.
It's incomplete. Yeah. Then there's still a part of the mind that's seemingly fragmented and separate.
Yeah.
And so my at one process is only complete when the entire sonship, every single mind, has returned to source.
Yeah.
That's when the journey will be complete. And so that's what he's working at. He's saying, well, I'm very patient. I'll wait until the previous section. Now, if you want to be different from me, that's okay. And I'll just wait until you change your mind.
Yes.
And eventually you will change your mind. It might take 100 lifetimes for you to change your mind because we're very stubborn. But okay, he'll wait forever. Love will wait forever because it's going nowhere. It's always been there. It always will be there. It's eternal. So just gonna wait until you choose, until you decide. So
his there's only one direction for all minds, and the one that Jesus has been taught is the one that I'm being taught. And don't be put off course by the ego interfering with my journey. Leave all
the other direction is an illusion. That's what he's saying. There is no other direction.
Yeah.
So you seem to have a choice. There seems to be a fork in the road. You can go one way or another, but actually there's only one choice.
I'm just wondering, when I see that the Holy Spirit has one direction for all mine, it's probably, I don't know if you're aware of a boy band called One Direction.
No.
My daughters were just completely enthralled with this band, and I've just looked at that and thought, my God, did they know something that I didn't at that time by calling us up?
One Direction. Did they sing about oneness, or was it?
No.
Not. Yeah.
All about it was, as Sandy would say, very much identifying with the body.
Yeah, body and special relationships, and
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But the truth is everywhere. One direction. Okay.
Yeah.
So even if the ego might have its own ideas about what that one direction is, remember the ego is alternative. There's one direction, and my direction is the only direction. There's no other direction. There's no spirit. Follow my way and identify with it completely. That's what it's trying to get you to do. Identify completely with form, with the body, with the worldly stuff. Get you nicely sucked in, because then it's got you in its clutches, and it's going to try and keep you there on the road to nowhere, really, because you're on this road, and where are you going? So absolutely nowhere.
Very seductive.
No, I mean you might think the ego is going to give you goal. Oh, okay, well just further on over the horizon there's no, that's going to be a good thing. You want that, whatever the goal is. You want, maybe it's a special relationship, you want a better job, you want more money, and you keep following on this road, and eventually it leads nowhere. You get to a dead end, and you're like, oh, okay. That often happens in the middle of your life, and you go, okay, well, where am I now? I followed this way. There's all this promise, and now I realize actually it's a dead end. It's the road to nowhere. It's quite funny. I stayed in a place called McGregor last year. Remember, John, when you did the course, I was in this little town called McGregor.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And there was actually a road that went out of the town, and it was called the road to nowhere. Because they started it and it ended up in the mountains and they didn't finish it. So you would follow this very promising road, looked like it was going somewhere, and you'd end up in the mountains at a dead end. You'd be like, okay, this road goes nowhere. I'm kind of stuck now. I've got to turn around and go the other way because it's going nowhere. So that's kind of what the ego's doing. It's like, promising, and then, okay, now you're going to hit a dead end. But it doesn't obviously tell you that along the way. So no, keep going. There's got its signpost. Oh no, there's something, 1K ahead. There's something attractive, something nice. But where do these illusions ultimately lead you? Nowhere. To a dead end where, eventually you're like, well, the whole thing has been a false promise. It's promised all of this and it hasn't delivered. And I feel kind of empty and a bit desperate, and now I've got to turn around and retrace my steps and journey back and walk back the way I went. So Jesus is saying, well, don't do that. Just follow me. Instead of going down this whole pointless path, just at every fork in the road, follow my way. Just listen to me, and I'll guide you on the road to somewhere, to the only place that you really want to be, which is heaven, out of this world. And actually, this can be quite a happy road. While you're traveling it, the journey can be quite, a happy dream. And you can have mighty companions, and you can have good experiences. And this is all part of the learning of, of the truth. And the journey can be quite a pleasant one, actually. It doesn't have to be all pain and suffering and darkness. And that's just about the best you can do in this world, is have a happy dream while on the way out.
Yeah.
Leaving it. And, he's going to show us how to do that, which is rather encouraging. I think I'm so grateful for this course. But, in this lifetime, like, this is available to me because it wasn't available in previous lifetimes. But something this clear and direct is there, and it's freely available, and we can study it to our heart's content. It's free on the internet. It's amazing, really. I mean, it's just this hasn't been available before. Even in the time of Jesus, this wasn't available. He hadn't written his words down. It was all oral teachings. So in many ways, we're more fortunate than his direct disciples were, because you got a detailed course. Okay, here's the course. I want to give you exactly the way out, exactly how I think. I'm going to teach you to think the same way. Amazing, more people don't do it, but I guess people don't recognize what it is, the power of it. Once you start getting to the understanding of what this really is, you're like, oh my God, this is it. This is the whole truth. This is the way out. This is the way home. This is the end of the dream. This is what I've been yearning for, praying for who knows how many lifetimes, to get out. And now here's a way. Very clear, very, very, very precise language, very clear, no ambiguity, taught by a master teacher who really knows what he's doing. I mean, could you want more? And all you got to do is spend the time working with it. So yeah, I think we need to feel very grateful for all of it, really. Okay, so have you done a summary of this, Anna? Do a little summary.
He's saying don't lose sight of the one direction by being tempted by illusions of the ego. Never give the power to ego. It has none. Leave illusions behind. Together, you and I are invincible, and my strength you'll never want for my strength. I give it willingly and gladly. We need each other.
Yeah, he's calling us. He's saying, well, you know, in order for me to fulfill my mission, which is to lead the at-one-ment, to lead the sonship out of darkness back to oneness, I need you. You know, it needs every mind. Every mind has to make this journey at some point. So he's calling, and if the call is there in this lifetime, then this is your time.
Yes.
Now, you don't need to wait for another lifetime. Is it going to get easier in another lifetime? Probably not. You know, the world's still going to be the world. We might have even more advanced technology in another lifetime, but so what? Still the same dream. And who knows? It might get more difficult. This might be it. This is the golden time. So, you know, make use of it. I think it's like to really make use of this life and say, yeah, okay, let me do this. Let me learn this thought system. Let me use the remainder of my life here to undo the ego and have a happy dream while I'm doing it. It's not going to be unhappy and unpleasant. But this is the core. You know, I'll just bring up this. So today's quote, Churchill's quote.
Yeah.
You want to read that and just interpret it for yourself, and read it as to every person rather than
Yeah, well, to every person there comes in his or her lifetime that special moment when that person is figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered a chance to do a very special thing, unique to that person and fitted to the talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds that person unprepared or unqualified for that, which would be that person's finest hour.
So you can interpret that on a couple of levels. You know, Churchill's probably referring to his experience. You know, he had to step up, become prime minister, face Nazi Germany. That was his finest hour, and that's how it played out for him. But actually, every one of us has this opportunity to step up and say, you know, this is my finest hour, because this is the hour when I come to know myself, finally. And that might look very humble to other people. On the level of form, you're not doing, you know, anything overtly world-changing, but it's your finest hour because you're coming into an awareness of who you are, and you're saying, okay, I'm up for this, I'm prepared for this, I'm doing it. And you know, it unfolds in the quietness of your meditations and in these sessions, and it's your finest hour unfolding right now. You've been tapped on the shoulder and given the opportunity, and it's uniquely fitted to you and your talents. So the special function, the Holy Spirit interprets all of these unique talents and abilities and uses them for one purpose, which is your awakening. So you can interpret this quote on a couple of levels. You know, the level of form, okay, we're going to do something exceptional in the world. That's how a lot of people would see it. And they might feel a bit intimidated. Well, you know, I'm not a Churchill. Like, I can't, but they had an unusual path. There's not many people who you know do something at that level. But on another level, you can do this in your own life anytime. You just got to step up and listen to the call. And what he's talking about here is really the call to adventure, the call to the hero's journey, isn't it? It's exactly that. It's saying, well, you tapped on the shoulder, figuratively tapped on the shoulder, and offered a chance to do something very special, which is to awaken yourself, unique to him, fitted to his talents. Well, only you can awaken for you. Kind of obvious. No one else can awaken. It's your journey. So you can interpret it on that level, and then the quote just becomes an invitation to the hero's journey. To step into that and say, look, just be prepared to take on the journey and don't be scared. Because that's a tragedy. If you're getting the tap on the shoulder and you say, no, I'm too busy, then you know what a tragedy, because that would have been your finest hour where you came to know yourself. So that's quite a nice framework, I think, for understanding this. Given he's talked about the journey, and you know, it's that Jesus is tapping you on the shoulder and saying, okay, take the journey and I'll be your guide. along the way, and together we cannot fail. The hero's journey. The hero's journey ultimately is inevitable, right? This is the archetype of it. It's inevitable that you will get there. You cannot not do this and continue and not go through this. This is the cycle. You will go through it. So the call to adventure is the tap, saying, "Go on a journey with me," and Jesus and the Holy Spirit are going to be your guide on this way. And that may show up. You might get people on the journey who are being inspired by Jesus and the Holy Spirit, who help you as well. Mentors, helpers, guides, who are agents of this one voice. But really, the Holy Spirit is guiding you through this to the abyss, to the death of the ego, the transformation, the at-one-ment, and ultimately the return into society. And you've just done, interesting, because you've done a cycle of this, haven't you? You get that? Having gone through this, you've been through the Art of Letting Go course, and now, what are we, about 2.5 months? When did we start? End of January. So now we, so about 2.5 months, beginning of April. So you kind of cycled through this. You went through a bit of a death and rebirth. Some stuff dropped away. Transformation happened at 1 month. And now you bring the gift of the goddess back to your society, back to other people. So these are the healing gifts. Now you're being asked to do more healing, and that's how it works. And this could happen again. So you carry on this journey. There'll be another cycle of it, no doubt. It's like, okay, we'll take it to another level now, because you've just answered the call again, having done the Art of Letting Go course. Then you said, okay, yes, I'm up for the rest of the journey. So it's like, okay, well, there's another call then. So then follow it again.
Yeah, true.
And every time you go through it, there's another level of ego that's dropped away. Death and the rebirth. As you said, I thought I'd done it already, because you'd done this a few years ago. You said, no, I thought I'd done it, but it's like, okay, it's another cycle of it.
Yeah.
Had I really done it? Had I really dropped all the ego, or was there still, lurking resident ego there? So you do it again and again, and you cycle through. If you cycle through this many times in your life, you can't help but get to the end goal, which is dropping the ego entirely, coming into awareness of who you really are.
Just keep going.
Keep going, exactly. And keep listening to the call. If you feel the call that there's something, then listen to that, because it's guiding you on another journey with Jesus as your guide, saying, okay, time for another level of the ego to be shed. And I'll guide you through this. And the more you do it, the more you start to have this invincible strength in you. Well, I'm okay. I can jump into the unknown, because it's not really unknown, because I know the Spirit's with me. I know Jesus is with me. He's got my back. Spirit's with me. So it's okay. I'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine. Whatever comes along, I've got the guidance to deal with it. And then you become, the invincible, invulnerable self that just can handle anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So happy with number 6. Questions on that? Maybe Iona or John give us a little summary of the whole thing, just in a minute or two. So what are the key points of this section?
I think it's I think it is all about unity with spirit, and it's all about deepening our connection to spirit and letting go of ego and not being tempted by ego. And the strength that brings.
I think what he's saying here is that there's a very specific way that he's recommending you do that. By uniting your will with his,
Yeah.
Unite your will with the whole sonships.
Yeah.
And this will be very helpful for you in realizing that actually your mind is one with his and one with everyone's and one with God's.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bridge, an intermediary step. So he's specifically focusing on himself, saying, well, unite with me as part of this at-one-ment process in your mind. And this is going to be very helpful for you. You can use this device to unite your mind with God. And if you can't do it directly, do it by uniting with my mind. And you do that when you accept his ideas. You know, he's teaching you directly in this course. So accept his ideas. Accept that these are true, and then you unite your mind with his. Okay, anything else, Iona? Anything else stood out for you?
The emphasis on there being one direction, not two. Renounce the ego and all its illusions. You cannot attempt to ride two horses at the same time.
Yeah, can't go in two different directions at the same time. It's an impossible task, and if you try, you'll just feel disconnected and split and confused, and there'll be no clarity, and you're actually going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, all directions exist. The ego teaches you all directions exist, and there's no rationale for choice there. How do you choose if all directions exist? The Holy Spirit says no, there's only one direction.
Yeah.
It's God or oneness or heaven. So follow only that and relinquish the ego. That's a very, very clear cut. You know, he's saying this over and over and over again, pretty much every lesson, every section of the text, repeating it because he knows that it needs a lot of repeating. Because what we've done for this life and many lives is we fudged it and we haven't chosen. Kind of gone, well, you know, I kind of quite like the ego. I like some of it, so I like those bits. Don't really like those, but I can choose.
Yeah. I've definitely sought many egoic distractions and pastimes of my life, but I do remember in my 30s, I think, just this feeling of increasing, what the hell is this all for? And these feelings of emptiness and purposelessness. What am I doing? Yeah.
And that's common. I think a lot of people have that.
Yes.
Especially as you get into, you know, in the beginning, in the, say, teenager years and maybe 20s, you can kind of believe the ego story. So, okay, well, I'm going somewhere. You know, there's all this promise. I've got things I want to achieve. And then as you get older and you do them, you kind of go, so what's the point? You know, I've done this now. I've got the whatever. You had a family. I've done this, and so what? So that's it. This is it. This is the whole deal. This is what this was going to be the great thing that I was looking forward to. Now it's just kind of flat and like actually, so what was the point? And you start realizing that nothing on the level of form is actually going to work. It's not ever going to bring you what you truly want. And that's when the spiritual journey starts. It's when you say, okay, I need to look somewhere else. I can't look in the ego's darkened glass for the solution. I can't follow the road to nowhere to get somewhere. I have to follow another way. And then the spiritual journey starts in earnest. And often it happens when, you know, there is that sense of disconnection, alienation, you know, desperation. What's the point? That's a good sign because it means that you're now ready to change. You're ready to change your mind because it's just got bad enough. It's got uncomfortable and painful enough for you to change. When it's all seemingly going okay, then, you know, why would you change direction?
Yeah, Kennett's got this wonderful phrase, and it sometimes makes me giggle. It just says they haven't reached their bottom yet.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. There was a guy called Master Teacher. We call himself Master Teacher, which was interesting. I think he had some of his own ego issues, but anyway. But apparently used to, people would come. It was like a sort of a retreat center, and they'd come and stay. And if people are like, oh, they're complaining or whatever, you say, go away, come back in a few years. You haven't suffered enough yet. Go suffer some more, and bottom out, and then come back, and then you'll be ready. Because if you haven't suffered enough, then you still think the ego's got away. Most people are going, I want to find a better way, but I still want to find it my way. It's going to be the ego's way. I'll just find a better ego way. Okay, well, that strategy didn't work. I'll try another one. It'll be something else in the world. Okay, I didn't make money there. I'll try making money somewhere else. Or that relationship didn't work out. I'll try another relationship. Whatever it is, we just choose an alternative, but it's on the same level. And Jesus is saying, no, none of that's going to work.
Yeah.
Just choose to take my hand, and I'll show you the way out of all of this, out of all illusions, back to the truth. Okay, yeah. So happy with that.
Yeah.
Pretty clear message, I think.
Yeah, with that.
Useful to remember. Jesus is with you. By following this course, by practicing, you are uniting your mind with His mind. That's what you're doing. That's kind of what he's saying. Look, follow my way. My way is detailed in this course. So you follow this thought system, you follow this teaching, and you are uniting your mind with mine. And then pure formless awareness, it will come, inevitably. Okay, any questions on this, or shall we
No, that's good.
That's good, Jono. Thanks.
go into, do you want to do a meditation for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone need a comfort break, or are you happy to go straight into it?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, John? You good?
I'm okay. Carry on. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so just making yourself comfortable. Sitting feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises, and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Drawing the energy up the spine into your heart center. One hand on your heart to connecting with your heart space. Draw the energy all the way up into the crown of your head, pausing at the top of the inhale. And remind yourself that God or love or pure formless awareness goes with me wherever I go. It goes with me wherever I go. You feel the power of that, drop into the strength of that. And listen to these words. Repeat them after me in the first person. So, how can I be alone when God or love or pure formless awareness always goes with me? How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself when perfect certainty abides in it? How can I be disturbed by anything when it rests in me in absolute peace? So breathe this peace into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind. It's in the peace of God. Passes all understanding. Ask yourself, how can I suffer when love and joy surround me through this presence, Let me not cherish illusions about myself. I am perfect because God or love or pure formless awareness goes with me wherever I go. So exhale, just letting it go. It's the breeze of your breath. It's the nothingness that it really is. Blowing it out. Dark cloud leaving you. Just resting. In pure formless awareness. A few moments. And then breathing in. So moving smoothly in. Moving into the lower stomach, clenching the sphincter muscle, locking the energy in. Drawing the energy up the spine. To your heart center. Put one hand in your heart. Connecting with your heart space. Drawing the energy all the way up into the crown of your head. Maximal inhale breath. Top of the inhale, pause. Remind yourself that God or love or pure formless awareness is my strength. Vision is its gift to me. I can see truly from the strength. I can perceive truly. So let me not look to my own eyes to perceive today. Let me be willing to exchange my pitiful illusion of seeing or perceiving for the vision that is given by God or love or pure formless awareness. Christ's vision, or the one self's vision, is its gift. The idea of only oneself, and it has given it to me. So let me call upon this gift today, so this day may help me to understand eternity. Exhale the truth of that. Just blowing away any dark clouds that are obscuring your vision, letting them all go into the nothingness they really are. Follow the stomach into the spine. Spell the last remaining air out. And just sit here in the peace and the stillness for a few moments. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, and be still. Sinking into the peace that passes all understanding, letting it envelop you. This pure formless awareness that is your strength and that is the source of your vision. And so, breathing this peace in, imagine it's infusing every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in the peace of God, the peace of pure formless awareness. Breathing it into every part of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Remind yourself that this love, this pure formless awareness you're sensing is my source, the very foundation of my being, my true awareness. So I cannot see or perceive apart from it. There's nothing else. Say to yourself, I can see or perceive only what God or love or pure formless awareness wants me to see or perceive. I cannot see or perceive anything else beyond his or its will. lie only illusions. It is these I choose when I think I can see or perceive apart from it. It is these I choose when I try to see or perceive through the body's eyes. Yet the vision of Christ, the one self, has been given me to replace them. It is through this vision that I choose to see or perceive. So breathe it in, this light, imagine beautiful golden or white light, or just a feeling of light flowing into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body. Every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is held in the light of truth, the light of your pure formless awareness, the light of your source. And in this light, you cannot see apart from your source. Feel that connection to source. Drop into it. And exhale. Just have a sense of sighing it all out. Should be easy for you, Iona. Just drop it all. Letting it all go and sighing into the peace of pure formless awareness, very source of your mind, which then informs all of your perceptions. So rest here for a few moments in this eternal state. You're learning eternity, infinity. Right now, sinking inwards. So God, love, or pure formless awareness is the light or awareness in which I see or perceive. So breathe this light in again. You visualize, you can imagine, visualize it's like a brilliant golden or white light flowing into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in the light of your true awareness. And this is the light in which you can see, perceive everything truly. So bring to mind any difficult situations in your life, where there's any kind of block to the awareness of this light. It shows up as any challenging, difficult thought or emotion. Just notice that emotion, thought. Rest in the light. Exhale, sink into it. As you listen to these words, I cannot see or perceive in darkness or unawareness. God or love or pure formless awareness is the only light or awareness. Therefore, if I am to see or perceive truly, it must be through Him, must be through it. Cannot see in any other way. I've tried to define what seeing or perceiving is, and I've been wrong. Now it is given me to understand that God or love or pure formless awareness is the light or awareness in which I see or perceive. Give me welcome vision and the happy world. It will show me. So it is said and so it's done. Exhale, have a sense of dropping any darkness. Dropping the unawareness. Allowing the light in, the light of your true awareness. Lower the stomach into the spine. Spinalastam out. And just rest here. In the mind of God. So say to yourself, God or love or pure formless awareness is the mind with which I think. So I have no thoughts I do not share, God or love or pure formless awareness. No thoughts apart from this awareness, because I have no mind apart from its. My awareness is its awareness. It's one awareness. It's part of its mind, its awareness. My thoughts are its, and its thoughts are mine. So where then is there any room for any negativity, anything of the ego? Fear, guilt, sin, attack thoughts, just drop them all away. The breeze of your breath. Blow them all away into nothingness they really are. Surrender into the mind of God, into the awareness of pure formless awareness itself, which doesn't need to think in conscious terms. You don't need to I subject think about any objects. That's dualistic thought. Just surrender to a transcendent awareness, a whole awareness. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just surrender into this awareness. Next few minutes of deep silence. Just observe the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Relax and be still. And allow yourself to experience this pure formless awareness, the peace of pure formless awareness. Just let it envelop you, let it encompass you completely. Every part of your mind, every aspect of your being, every fiber of your being. It's in the light of your true awareness for the next couple of minutes of deep silence. And if any thoughts arise to seemingly disturb this awareness, notice them, recognize that it's the other guide, the ego, trying to get your attention again. It's pointless thought systems, so just be willing to dismiss it. Let it go completely. Blow it away with the breeze of your breath, the dark cloud leaving you, to reveal the eternal blue sky and the light of your source shining through it. Remind yourself that God, love, pure formless awareness, is my source, shining through my mind, one with itself. And just surrender into this deep state. Everything is there for you, happiness, peace, joy. Just experience it for a couple of minutes of deep silence. When thoughts come in to distract you, just view them like clouds just drifting by in your ways. They have no power to obscure the blue sky, which is your pure formless awareness, or the light. So just ignore them and sink inwards. Going deeper and deeper with each breath into this awareness. Just abide there, nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. Just sit and be for the next couple of minutes, deep silence. And so just gently coming back from this deep state, bring your awareness into the body and the senses. Invite these into the world, and on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. But you're coming back with this awareness underlying all your sense perceptions. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises, subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. At the top of the inhale, smile, remind yourself that God, love, pure formless awareness goes with me wherever I go. And then awareness is my strength, vision is its gift, cannot see apart from it. It's the light, awareness in which I see, it's the mind with which I think. Anything that's out of accord with us, any thoughts and emotions, sensations, just observe them and blow them away. The breeze of your breath into the nothingness they really are. So letting it all go. And the stomach into the spine, so notice the energy subside down the front channel of your body. Just in the stomach suck back in. On the count of 2, notice the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you feeling and touching with your hands. Notice any smell in your nose as you breathe in again. Notice any taste in your mouth. And notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. Noticing all these things in this very still, calm and surrendered state. I'm going to carry this awareness with you for the rest of the evening. Remind yourself you can practice any one of these lessons. Quite a longer recording, 16-minute recording to practice all of them, or just 3 minutes to practice each one. Just choose whichever one you want to do, and listen to this again if you need to top yourself up. Remind you that it's awareness, God's awareness, love's awareness, pure formless awareness is your awareness. There is no other awareness. And that is your choice, to only have this awareness. And so when you're ready on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. Just take a moment to look around, noticing the various objects in the room, people, observing them from a state of detached awareness. This pure formless awareness underlying your perceptions is the way the Holy Spirit, which is remembrance of the awareness of oneness, guides you through your life, guides all your perceptions. So notice that you're in this state, and noticing it, you can anchor it in for the rest of the evening on into tomorrow. So it is said, and so it is done. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and tonight's session. So thank you, Iona, for joining, and Kenneth, and wish you a very peaceful evening, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
One session tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
At 1:30.
Thank you, Jono.
Okay, namaste.
Namaste.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.